Manchester, and it is the big clash of the 2019 Cricket World Cup. When the schedule first came out, this is what fans from both India and Pakistan checked. When is this game? June 16 was marked first of all. June 16 tickets sold out first of all, and they're still selling if you can get lucky and if you can shell out big sums of money. Not official, of course. Unofficial ticket selling as always going on for an India-Pakistan clash, which is Sunday, and we cannot wait for it. But more than that, Aditya, we cannot wait for this rain to go away because, well, it is still raining behind us. Water tables all over England taking a big hit, and everybody will be hoping that for once, for one night and for one day, it just stops raining. India coming into this game after a washout against New Zealand at Nottingham. Virat Kohli downplaying this game. 10 times he was asked about how big is this game, how big is this game. 10 times he answered, we are taking it as any other team we are going to play. India, I think they know their set plans. We know what their plans would be. Vijay Shankar coming in at number 4. Doesn't seem like it would change.
I don't think so, because probably that's the idea they had for the New Zealand game as well. Vijay Shankar, probably the best bet they have at the moment for number 4, because obviously we all know how Shikhar Dhawan injured himself, and that automatically means that KL Rahul comes up. Even the Nets practice were no different than the one we witnessed in Trent Bridge. Again, Vijay Shankar getting that long extended drill of batting, and he batted in all 3 nets, the one for the throwdowns, the pacers, the spinners. So yeah, Vijay Shankar number 4, I would say you can definitely mark that happening.
And of course, Virat Kohli also spoke about different permutations and combinations. It could be a shortened game. There could be a lot of cloud cover, rain about, as we know, the ball nipping around. He spoke about pace becoming an extra option, and when he says that, maybe Mohammad Shami coming into consideration. But if conditions stay normal, and there will be a heavy debate about this. Yes, they have 2 pacers, Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Pandya and Vijay Shankar. That about sums it up on a normal day, in a normal situation. That would sum up that this is the pace attack that India are going with. Shami would not enter the consideration.
I don't see that happening, because again, if today's practice session was anything to go by, we didn't really see much of Shami doing bowling. I mean, yes, on this pitch, on the practice pitches, the one right next to in which the match is going to be played, we saw Bhuvneshwar, Bumrah, Shankar, Pandya all having a go, but not much Shami. I think he roughly bowled 10 to 12 deliveries. I mean, in the indoor nets, there wasn't much of a work for Shami to do. So yeah, playing 4 paces, again, I mean, not really the kind of ideal scenario. That's not something India is usually known to do. So yeah, why not? I mean, play 2 spinners, and you've got Pandya as your 3rd, 4th bowling seam bowling option. Then you have Vijay Shankar also can contribute. So yeah, again, 2 spinners, 2 spacers, and with the Pandya coming in as the 3rd additional seamer. So yeah, that kind of sums it up.
And talking about Pakistan, they will also be thinking about their bowling combination. They lost the game against Australia. Seemed to be a decent chase, but they were never really in it once Australia crossed 300. You always wonder if Pakistan can chase 300. They can score 300 batting first, but can they really chase 300? They played 4 paces there against Australia. Spin element was perhaps missing. They will be reconsidering their bowling combination. But more than that, Mohammad Amir, 5 for 30 odd against Australia. He's in fine fettle, fine form. Lots said about him. And of course, Virat Kohli downplaying a comment on Mohammad Amir as well. There are 10 other players. I always play the bowler and his strength. I'll play the ball
coming out of the hand.
The ball coming out of the hand. It was all about Virat Kohli downplaying. In the Indian dressing room, of course, they will know how important this game is. They've had a washout. If they lose this, then of course some momentum escapes after win against South Africa and Australia. Aditya, tell me, what would be the one discussion in that Indian dressing room?
Again, probably, what Virat Kohli said, probably my opinion is not too different to that. You would want to treat it as a different match. That is a common phrase that we have seen all previous India captains mentioning when it comes to India-Pakistan. But again, I think the one thing that would really favor India is, again, that it's a factor that has been the reason behind their success. Again, that top 3. All 3 of them have shown runs, but this is again a little different because there's no Shikhar Dhawan, there's KL Rahul. He has this tendency of getting starts and then just throwing it away a little. So if KL Rahul gets going and you add that with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli getting a decent score, that I think should work heavily in India's favour. Mind you, the middle order has shown promising signs, but against a bowling attack like Pakistan, yes, you rightly mentioned 4 pacers. I think that's going to change. I think Shadab Khan is going to come in, because that part-time combination of Shoaib Malik and Mohammad Hafiz leaked some 80-odd runs. So yeah, I'm not much of a fan about that, and I'm sure the Pakistanis are thinking on those lines. So yes, I think again, like history has always shown, it's probably going to be Pakistan's pacers versus India batsmen.
And what has history also shown us, that obviously India have always beaten Pakistan in a World Cup encounter. Surprisingly, this was not mentioned in both the press conference, whether it was with Virat Kohli or with Mickey Arthur. I remember 2015, that time, both the pre-match press conferences for India and Pakistan, there were at least 4 to 5 questions about how India have always dominated this contest. Times have changed. Nobody was talking about it. Both teams, they were talking about both teams facing it. So last not the least, let's talk about how Pakistan are facing. And Mickey Arthur, I really enjoyed his press conference. And after a long time, sometimes you attend so many press conferences, you just get used to the similar sort of answers. It was so refreshing to see how Mickey Arthur answered. He was talking very effusively, in fact, acknowledging the fact that Pakistan are a very, very unpredictable side, and you can't really prepare for their unpredictability, whether you're the coaching staff or whether you're the opposition. He talked about, is the ball coming out of Mohammad Amir's hand right? Is their best fielder Shadab Khan getting onto it? Is their opening batsman leaving the ball if it's moving away or playing it nicely? So they know it from the first ball, and we sometimes don't know it until late in the day. We talk about Pakistan getting up from the right side of the bed or not. So it was very interesting, and that is what Pakistan can do. One moment of inspiration, one moment of magic, and the game can change. Nobody can forget the 2017 Champions Trophy final, Mohammad Amir's burst. You mentioned the Indian top order. They had their best top order then, Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. He got those 3 wickets. Like you said, they're pacers versus India's batsmen, India's top order. Really, that's what's going to decide the game. There was also a lot said about how Pakistani side is young and their 2 most experienced hands, Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik. Hafiz has had his play against England, but Shoaib Malik, his last World Cup, hasn't really had that impact.
He came up at number 6. That's not really the kind of position you would expect somebody like Shoaib Malik. I mean, let's face it, he's not young. He's not 25, 28 anymore. He probably will need his time to get his eye, and probably that's the kind of player he's always been. You give him time, he'll cash on it. But again, number 6 is probably not should come out to bat. Again, it's India versus Pakistan. The pressure is enormous. I mean, if any other 2 teams play, you probably chase down, say, a score of 260. That's the score of 260. But in case of India-Pakistan, the 260 becomes 280 very easily. There's always 20 extra runs while chasing. So yeah, coming back to how you mentioned Mickey Arthur, I think, again, like, very nice words, amazing, it just kind of shows the mental frame of mind Pakistan are in. Because let's not forget it, they've had that kind of an erratic start, you can say. They lost the first match, came back strongly to beat England, had a washout, and then again losing to Australia. So yeah, they won't like to be, they would like to get their campaign back on track. And like Mickey Arthur also said, these guys can become heroes tomorrow.
It's all about that moment of inspiration. Virat Kohli spoke about that 2009 Champions Trophy where he flew in, played Pakistan for the first time. A lot of guys in the Indian dressing room also facing Pakistan in a World Cup encounter for the first time. Aditya, it doesn't get bigger than this. It doesn't get bigger than this. It's India versus Pakistan, Manchester, June 16. Rain, please stay away.
If the weather permits.